In regards to, as I put here, Vision's quest, we see Vision having this conversation amongst his other Vision, the whole ship thesis about, if you take the pieces from a ship and is it this old ship, the new ship, this, that, and the other. So I definitely didn't want to glance over that because we see Vision ultimately leave and go somewhere, which to me at first played a little weird, but the more I kind of thought about it, I kind of appreciate the scene just due to the fact that if you think of Vision's whole quest, if you want to call it that, he was created to be an AI for Tony Stark. He was then created out of Ultron to be a weapon to destroy the world. His life was taken from him by Thanos to get the Mind Stone. He was brought back to life from Wanda to be in this Hex. So he's never had a say of his life until this moment. Even though he gets the memories back, he knows he has the shell, the body. This is him, but he doesn't necessarily connect. You can watch something on TV, but it doesn't mean you got to connect to it. So he has the memories, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to run right to Wanda. Mm-hmm. He goes up and has his own quest. He has his own journey, and I love that moment because, like I said, he's never had control of his existence until this point. So, Amanda, your take on Vision going on this journey without Wanda?
I hope he has some fun. Because he deserves to have some fun, to be perfectly honest. He comes back, dies. Like, I think that whole scene was great. The way you explained it again, like, I really do think that he needs to have his own path. If that's a spin-off show, that'd be really cool to see his adventures. I think it'd be awesome. Yeah. It was such a great moment for him because as we've watched him progress in this series and to see him like kind of send White Vision off with all these memories and stuff like that, I think it was a really great moment for like actual Vision. Yeah. I hope he has fun, and I hope we get to see him have fun and he can go live his life.
He can have his life.
Can you imagine if we see White Vision, tropical shirt, chilling on the beach, like
with Fury?
Yeah, with Fury.
Or better yet, with Darcy, because we don't know where the hell she went. So Darcy and Vision have a spinoff show, and she's gonna be like, Wanda, I got your boyfriend.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting show. Chris, man, your take on this ship thesis. I know we talked about it last night, how your love for Vision comes from not the fighting, that's cool. It's more the conversation that he has. He's so intellectual. Yeah.
And it's funny to think about Darcy having to explain life again to a new Vision. He's like, I'm tired of explaining to you what happened to you.
Yeah.
Let me just take 2 minutes of not to tell you guys nonsense of why this Vision thing had hit home. So like a couple years ago, I bought this, like I had a big moment in my life. I bought a bottle of whiskey. Like this is now my special occasion bottle of whiskey. Mm-hmm. If someone comes to my house, you're getting married, we drinking this fancy whiskey. You're having a kid, we drinking a fancy whiskey. You got a promotion, fancy whiskey. But now my shit is getting to the bottom, it's low. So I'm thinking, damn, like, what if I get a new bottle and just pour some in? It's the same bottle. There's still going to be some old original from the special occasion bottle. But is it the new bottle or is it the old bottle? I've been thinking about this for years. And then I freaking turn on the season finale of fucking WandaVision, and Vision just lays it out for me.
You didn't know this is a true story, Chris. This is all a true story. So this
he solved your dilemma.
Yeah, he solved my whole, like, that's why I love Vision, man. He just holds me down. He just never lets me down. I love that scene in the library. I love the fact that it's in a library. Mm-hmm. I love, I told you yesterday, like, next time I don't get something at work, I'm gonna say I require elaboration. I'm gonna tell my boss straight up. It's like, I didn't know you needed that deadline. I require elaboration. So 100% love that scene. I love the fact that, it gives us a chance to get more Vision in the future. It's kind of like Gamora dying, and then it's like, damn, we missed Gamora. Then like you get, past Gamora. So it's like a way to keep some of the characters that we love, keep giving us more, more times to see him. So I was all about it.
It's so true, man. And I guess to put a spin on the question for you, Zach, it's a great moment, no doubt. But is it something to be said? And these are comic book characters, and us comic book fans know that no one ever stays dead, right? But is it almost to the point we got a new Vision, we got a Loki, a different version of these characters, we got another, as Chris has said, another Gamora? Does it take anything away from losing the character, even though this is the third iteration of the character? Is it almost just like, come on, guys, can someone stay actually dead in the MCU?
I need to see what they do with him. I think if Wanda gets her happy ending with him, I think that'll take away from this show a lot. And I think it takes away from her emotional arc. Now, if she gets the kids, I'm fine with that, because I think that's something that she didn't have for that long. But Vision, she had for years, over and over and over. And I feel like there is something that I feel like I've seen enough of their relationship, especially throughout the show. But I feel like to do that and bring him back into there and being like, hey, I remember everything about you. Because the way I took it, when he left, it felt like I'm going to go discover my own stuff. because I remember all this, but I don't feel any of that. Exactly. Which, you know, there's, you know, 50 First Dates. You know, I've never understood the movie. I love it. But like, you know, you remind her every single day that you're married to her. But how does she have those same feelings for you every single morning she wakes up? So it's interesting things in that. I'm really happy we got to see Baby Vision in that one episode, because that is still something that, like, when I have my own house, it'll be a portrait that sits on my wall. Like, I will show my kids that this is me as a child, like, just to play with their feelings. But you know, there's just a lot there that I need to see what they do with the character first. And I wanted to ask all of you guys, because I started thinking about this. Where do you guys think we will see him next?
It might be a bit.
Yeah.
Would Iron?
It hasn't been filmed. Like, something that hasn't been filmed.
Right.
Sure.
I would say I could see Ironheart, because it would be full circle, because Ironheart kind of takes some the mantle from Tony Stark, you know, Jarvis. So I can see him maybe being an appearance there.
Or Armor Wars. Or Armor Wars,
yeah. Or I mean, they can literally wait so long when we get the Young Avengers, we get the West Coast Avengers maybe, and
it could be like their
theorizing anymore. Have we not learned?
I can't help it. I can't help it.
I know, you're right. Thank you for putting us back on track. Thank you.
We're not theorizing.
Don't theorize. Don't think.
But what about you in regards to that moment, Tessa, regarding the Vision having the moment, having his own power? I'm sorry, Zach, did you have any more to elaborate on more on the Visions? Oh, yeah, Tessa, in regards to your thoughts on Vision having his own journey and his own path, and that scene.
Oh, I loved that scene. I just love how they're just fighting, and then he's like, "Hold up." But and then they have that conversation, and you know, that whole conversation, it was just so perfect. It was just so Vision, and that was, I mean, I loved their fight, don't get me wrong, I thought it was great, but I enjoyed that scene more. I just thought it felt so perfect. I was like, this is great. And then he takes off. At first I was afraid he was gonna like self-destruct, thinking he was like the real Vision, and I was like, no, I don't know that I want him to like go away. So I hope we see him again in the future, I guess. I don't think, kind of like Zach said, unless he ends up with Wanda in a happy ending, I don't think it's the same. It takes away from the loss of Vision, right? She still had to say goodbye to a Vision later on. Right. So hopefully they don't end up together. I mean, I think as long as he stays true to like White Vision, like, yes, he might have these memories, but he still should have no actual feelings or care about like, you know, he should be very like, I'm a synthezoid, like I'm a robot, and you know, this is how I am. So hopefully, and I feel like they know that, and I think that's why they brought him in as White Vision. I don't think it was just a nod to the comics. I think hopefully they're going to do him right and keep him in that great, I have these memories of my life with Wanda, but I don't care, which is kind of what they were in the comics.
True. And then tossing it to you, Sharonda, that, you know, to that point of White Vision, his journey. And I guess this too, how do you feel about the whole not being dead? Are you okay with Vision now having his third iteration of the character?
I mean, look, I love me some White Vision and White Vision colored Vision. I don't know, Hex Vision, Color Vision. I don't know what to call them. But I think I felt like it was a little lazy. Hear me out, okay? You have Hayward saying they spent billions of dollars, you know, on who Vision was, but also to trying to reassemble him back together. And you spend all this time creating the perfect weapon of who, you know, who Ultron wanted him to be, like who Vision was actually supposed to be. And then you mean to tell me that Vision's able to take him out on a technicality of a philosophical question? I was like, y'all, I get it. It was cute. But still, I just felt like it was a little bit lazy. And I think we're getting into dangerous Game of Thrones territory. If you can kill people and they can come back, then they're just meaning. It doesn't mean anything when we lose heroes. When they're like, we have Tony taken away, and then 5 movies later, he just pops back up like, "Hey guys, like I came back." It just it's just like if they were to bring Cap back, it kind of ruins the whole moment of what happened in the previous films. And I think you get into very dangerous territory when you start doing things like that, because it just undermines all of the decisions made in the writing of previous films and shows.
It's a slippery slope for sure. It's a slippery slope, but you gotta make sure that we don't, like, you can't bring Tony back. You cannot bring Cap back, like unless it's some sort of flashback. it's like, I mean, and Vision is a machine essentially at the end of the day. So it's like,
sure.
I'm willing to like allow it, but like as
sure.
long as you don't fall into that trap of like, because then it's like we don't care anymore of like who we lose.
Right.
Just see them again.
It won't be as effective anymore. You know.
I think in 10 years there's a chance we see Tony again.
I'm
being maybe it's like. Well, it's been hard to bring an Ironheart in though, because that's kind of the new Iron Man or whatever.
Replacing it, It's a much, and I love where this conversation is going, which is a much deeper conversation regarding, again, you're taking something, a medium that synonymously known for literally no one ever dies in the comics, but this isn't comics, right? These are movies, and we have a different type of mindset going into a film. And like Sharon is saying, what are the stakes if you can just bring a character back? Which the biggest thing that scares me that they introduced in Endgame is whenever you throw in time travel, then you kind of literally have a cheat code. You can literally go back. Exactly. That makes me so scared because you can literally just pluck another Tony Stark from another universe. You can bring back another character if you go back in time, even though they said they didn't have any more Hank Pym particles, but they can create more particles. They can go to another multiverse and get Hank Pym particles. So it is one of those things where I guess we do have to, like, I don't want to say shut our brains off because it's a comic book type of story. And it's just like, it's just a sci-fi. I don't want Marvel to kind of do that. I do want characters to stay dead. Like you said, Chris, he is an android. So sure, he's not a human being coming back to life. Even Gamora, she's an alien, Loki, he's a god. So humans, maybe Tony, Iron Man, they don't come back, but we'll see. It's a very slippery slope. And we'll see what happens with these characters. But I thought, again, the Vision moment was a really good moment for the character, and I'm excited to see wherever we see Vision again, if it's on TV or if it's in the movie. I think it'd be. Here's my other question: we see this moment happen in a TV show. White Vision was created on television. How does that translate to a film? If we see Vision again in a film, does it make sense to that person behind me that hasn't seen WandaVision?
You make
don't go into a Marvel movie without watching the. I mean.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because what did Kevin Feige just say a couple of weeks ago? You don't have to watch WandaVision to get Doctor Strange, which for me doesn't make sense because then people are going to be like, "Oh, cool new." I mean, maybe that's the general movie-going audience, but like,
sure.
I know if my dad didn't watch WandaVision, which the only reason he watched it is because he told me he never wants to fall behind on the MCU, so he never has to do a stupid marathon again. Those were his exact words. So now we're making him watch every single thing, and I told him, I was like, if you want to get Doctor Strange, you have to watch this. So I already know if she would have popped up, well, what's that book? Who's that? Why does she have that new costume? It would have been those questions. So I think you get in what you get out of the Marvel Universe. I can't say this enough. My friend had never seen the first Captain America. I took her to go see Infinity War. Jesus Christ, when Red Skull popped up, she said, "Is that Hellboy?" And I almost looked over at her and I said, "Wait." And she goes, "That's Hellboy." And I told her, I was like, and everyone else in our group looked at her and were like,
"You're no longer our friend."
Yeah. Go sit over there.
Go in the corner.
Everything relates to each other. I think I was watching Black Panther with my godkids, and their mom was there, and she was asking me all these questions, and I was like, "Oh, well, you would have learned that from Civil War. Like, you would have had to watch Civil War to understand Black Panther." But then there were also some portions of. Was it Ultron that you had to watch to even understand what was happening?
Because it's the vibranium.
Yeah, exactly. So you literally have to watch everything, or it's just some things are just going to go over your head. You're not going to.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't really believe Kevin at that point. Kevin was probably saying that because maybe they're going to give some sort of flashbacks or like some way to recap it, but. Like I said, no one's gonna be watching Doctor Strange 2 without being a Marvel head. Like it's not an Endgame movie. It's not Black Panther. Doctor Strange is a very like you're in it. Yeah, you're in it. Like it's like no one's watching Ant-Man and the Wasp like that doesn't watch like all of this.
You don't have a choice. You have to. But I have a question, Zach.